If you've ever wondered why some people achieve everything they set their mind to, while others stay stuck in mediocrity, what I'm about to share could change everything for you. The difference isn't talent, it isn't luck, it isn't even hard work. It's something far more powerful, something that operates silently in your mind every single day. Most people never discover this hidden force. They struggle their entire lives wondering why success seems to evade them. But the truly successful, they've mastered this one principle. They've learned how to speak to themselves in a way that literally reprograms their subconscious mind for achievement. This hidden force is called autosuggestion. And once you understand how to use it properly, which I'll explain to you today, you'll possess the same mental tool that created more millionaires than any university education. But here's what's fascinating. The method used by the wealthiest man I ever studied contradicted everything conventional wisdom teaches about positive thinking. When he revealed it to me, I was skeptical it could work at all. Yet this same approach transformed ordinary people into legends. What I'm going to share isn't some vague motivation. It's a specific, proven formula. I'll show you exactly how to speak to your subconscious mind, how to charge your words with emotion that creates real change, and the exact 5-word phrase that Thomas Edison repeated every morning for 40 years. Most importantly, I'll reveal the counterintuitive secret that Andrew Carnegie shared with me, the missing element that makes the difference between empty affirmations and true transformation. So if you're ready to unlock this hidden power within you, let's begin. Because autosuggestion isn't just another self-help technique, it's the very foundation of all achievement. Let me explain exactly what autosuggestion is, and why it might be the most important concept you'll ever learn. Autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It's how you communicate with your own subconscious mind. Think of it as the bridge between what you consciously want and what your deeper mind believes is possible. But here's what most people don't realize. You're already using autosuggestion every single day. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," every time you think, "I'm not good enough," every time you tell yourself, "This is too hard," that's autosuggestion. Negative autosuggestion. And your subconscious mind accepts these statements without question, without judgment, without resistance. Your subconscious doesn't analyze whether what you say is true or false. It simply receives the message and acts upon it. This is why so many people remain stuck. They're constantly feeding their minds with limitations, with doubts, with fears, and the subconscious faithfully creates a reality that matches these suggestions. But here's the opportunity. If negative suggestions create negative results, what happens when you deliberately plant positive suggestions? What happens when you consciously choose the thoughts you feed to your subconscious? This is the secret that transformed ordinary men into extraordinary achievers. Autosuggestion isn't motivational fluff. It's not wishful thinking. It's not empty affirmations. It's the deliberate reprogramming of your mental operating system. Think of your subconscious as fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant in it. Plant weeds of doubt and limitation, you'll harvest exactly that. Plant seeds of confidence and capability, those will grow instead. The soil doesn't choose, it doesn't judge, it simply nourishes whatever is planted there. And the tragedy is that most people never realize they're planting anything at all. They let random thoughts, casual self-criticism, and unconscious limiting beliefs determine their mental garden. Then they wonder why life keeps giving them the same disappointing results. But you're about to learn how to take control of this planting process. You're about to discover how to communicate with your subconscious in a language it understands and responds to. And once you master this skill, something remarkable happens. You stop pushing against life. You stop struggling so hard. You begin attracting opportunities rather than chasing them. Because when your subconscious accepts an idea as truth, it works day and night to make that truth a reality. It organizes your perceptions, your decisions, your actions, all to align with that accepted truth. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. This is the practical mechanics of how your mind actually works. And in a moment, I'll show you the difference between those who use this power unconsciously and those who harness it deliberately to create extraordinary results. Let me show you what happens when someone masters autosuggestion versus someone who never learns this principle. Most people live reactively. Something happens. They respond emotionally. They face a setback. They get discouraged. They receive criticism. They doubt themselves. Their mental state is constantly at the mercy of external circumstances. Now look at those who've mastered autosuggestion. They experience the same external events, the same challenges, the same obstacles. But their response is completely different. While others are knocked off course by every difficulty, These individuals maintain an unshakable inner certainty, not because they're inherently stronger, not because they're immune to doubt, but because they've programmed their subconscious to interpret events differently. They've trained their minds to see opportunities where others see only problems. Consider two entrepreneurs facing the same business failure. The first thinks, "I knew this wouldn't work. I'm just not cut out for this." This negative autosuggestion reinforces doubt and plants the seeds of future failure. The second says, "This attempt didn't work, but I've gained valuable experience. Success is now one step closer." Same circumstance, completely different suggestion to the subconscious, and therefore, completely different results will follow. The first entrepreneur might give up entirely. The second will adjust course and eventually succeed. Not because of different skills or opportunities, but because of different programming in their subconscious mind. This is why two people can face identical situations and experience completely different outcomes. It's not the event that determines your results. It's the autosuggestion that follows the event. The suggestions you repeatedly give yourself become your mental commands, and your mind has no choice but to obey these commands. Most people don't realize they're issuing these commands at all. They think their casual self-talk is meaningless. They don't recognize that offhand comments like, "I always mess this up," are actually programming instructions. But those who achieve great things understand this principle intimately. They guard their self-talk vigilantly. They choose their internal dialogue with precision. They deliberately plant the beliefs that will create their future. And that's why they seem to operate in a different reality than everyone else. That's why they can face the same obstacles that stop others, yet continue moving forward with confidence. That's why they achieve goals that others consider impossible. It's not magic, it's mental science. And I'm about to show you exactly how they do it. Let me share with you the stories of real people who use this principle to transform their lives and reshape history. Thomas Edison, the man who literally illuminated the world. You know his name. You've heard his story. But what you probably don't know is the specific way he used autosuggestion to overcome what should have been impossible odds. Edison failed over 10,000 times in his attempts to create a working light bulb. 10,000 failures, 10,000 reasons to quit, 10,000 opportunities to tell himself, "This is impossible." But Edison did something different. Each morning he would look in the mirror and repeat 5 simple words. The solution already exists. Not, "I hope to find a solution," not, "maybe today will be the day," but a definitive statement of fact, the solution already exists. He said these words with absolute conviction. He felt the truth of them in his body. He saw the completed light bulb in his mind with perfect clarity. And here's what's crucial to understand. When Edison experienced his 5,000th failure, his autosuggestion didn't change. When he reached 8,000 failures, his internal dialogue remained the same. The solution already exists. This wasn't blind optimism. This was deliberate programming of his subconscious mind. And what happened? His mind, working day and night under this suggestion, eventually found the solution that did, in fact, exist. Now let's look at Henry Ford, who revolutionized not just an industry, but the entire modern world. When Ford declared he would build an 8-cylinder engine cast in a single block, his own engineers told him it was impossible. Every expert said it couldn't be done. The metallurgy didn't exist. The manufacturing methods weren't available. But Ford gave himself a very specific autosuggestion. He would tell himself repeatedly and with absolute certainty, "The V8 engine is already built. It exists. I can see it." He didn't just say these words, he lived them. He spoke about the engine as if it were already a reality. He made decisions based on its inevitable creation. He felt the emotions of accomplishment before a single prototype existed. And when his engineers came back time after time saying it can't be done, Ford would simply respond, "Produce it anyway." Not from arrogance, not from delusion, but from a mind so thoroughly convinced by autosuggestion that the impossible had become inevitable. The V8 engine was eventually built, and it changed the automotive industry forever. But let me tell you about someone less famous. A woman named Fannie Hurst, a writer who faced rejection after rejection. 36 publishers turned down her work, 36 closed doors, 36 opportunities to tell herself, "I'm not good enough." But each morning, before facing another day of potential rejection, she would stand before her mirror and tell herself, "My stories matter. I will be read. I am already a successful author." She didn't wait for external validation to believe in her worth. She planted that belief in her subconscious through deliberate autosuggestion. And gradually, her confidence affected her writing. Her persistence outlasted the rejections. Her self-belief became so strong that it influenced how others perceived her work. Eventually, a publisher said yes, and Fannie Hurst went on to become one of the most successful authors of her generation. Not because she was magically more talented after the 36th rejection, but because her autosuggestion never allowed her to internalize failure. These stories reveal something critical. The greatest achievements in history were not created by people with exceptional circumstance. They were created by ordinary people who used autosuggestion to program their minds for extraordinary outcomes. And now I'll reveal exactly how your subconscious mind processes these suggestions, and why some affirmations work while others fail completely. To truly understand the power of autosuggestion, you need to understand how your mind actually works. Because beneath your conscious thoughts, a far more powerful mechanism is operating 24 hours a day. Your mind has two distinct parts. Your conscious mind, the part that analyzes, reasons, and makes deliberate choices. And your subconscious mind, the part that controls your automatic behaviors, your instinctive reactions, and your deeply held beliefs. Think of your conscious mind as the gardener, and your subconscious as the garden. The gardener decides what to plant, but the garden determines what grows. Here's what most people don't realize. Your subconscious mind doesn't understand logic. It doesn't comprehend reasoning. It doesn't process evidence. What it does understand is repetition and emotion. When a thought is repeated often enough and charged with strong enough emotion, your subconscious accepts it as true. Not because it is true, but simply because it meets these two criteria: repetition and emotional intensity. This is why casual negative self-talk is so dangerous. When you repeatedly tell yourself, "I'm terrible with money," or "I never finish what I start," you're not just expressing an opinion. You're literally programming instructions into your mental operating system. And your subconscious, which cannot distinguish between helpful and harmful suggestions, faithfully executes these instructions. It creates behaviors, perceptions, and decisions that align perfectly with the suggestions you've given it. This explains why people often stay stuck in patterns they consciously want to break. Their conscious mind says, "I want to succeed," but their habitual autosuggestions say something entirely different. And the subconscious always follows the most repeated, most emotionalized message. But here's where it gets interesting. The subconscious can't tell the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. When you visualize an outcome with intense detail and emotion, your subconscious processes it similarly to an actual experience. This is why visualization is so powerful when combined with verbal autosuggestion. It's not just positive thinking, it's neural rehearsal that physically reshapes your brain. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself having already achieved your most important goal. See the details clearly. Feel the emotions intensely. Make it as real as possible in your mind. These vivid mental images, when combined with words spoken with conviction, create a powerful set of instructions for your subconscious. And here's another critical insight. The subconscious is most receptive to new programming at two specific times. Just as you're falling asleep, when your conscious mind is relaxing its guard, and just after you wake up, before the analytical mind is fully active. These are your windows of opportunity. These are the moments when new autosuggestions can be planted most effectively. But perhaps the most important thing to understand is this. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you fear. It simply registers what you focus on most intensely. If you constantly focus on avoiding failure, your subconscious registers failure as the primary instruction. If you constantly worry about not having enough money, your subconscious hears not enough money as the command. This is why so many traditional affirmations don't work. People repeat, "I am wealthy," while feeling the emotion of lack. They say, "I am confident," while experiencing the sensation of fear. And the subconscious, which responds to the emotion more than the words, receives mixed signals, and therefore produces mixed results. Now you're ready to learn Carnegie's counterintuitive secret, the missing element that turns ordinary autosuggestion into a force of achievement. Now I'll share with you the exact formula for effective autosuggestion. But first, I must reveal Carnegie's counterintuitive secret, the element most people miss entirely. When I sat with Andrew Carnegie in his library, I expected him to tell me that he visualized only the perfect outcome, that he saw himself only at the pinnacle of success, that he focused exclusively on the end result. But what he told me contradicted everything I thought I knew about positive thinking. He said, "Hill, I don't just visualize having the fortune. I visualize earning the fortune. I see myself solving the problems, overcoming the obstacles, doing the work. I don't deny the difficulties. I incorporate them into my vision." This insight changed everything. Most teachings on visualization tell you to see only the finished goal, the mansion, the wealth, the success. But Carnegie discovered something profound. When you visualize only the end result, part of your mind rejects it as fantasy. It creates internal resistance. It doesn't feel authentic. But when you visualize yourself in the process, working, solving, persisting, your entire mind aligns with that vision. Because deep down, you know success requires process. It requires effort. It requires overcoming. And your subconscious respects this truth. This is why so many affirmations fail. They deny reality rather than transforming it. They attempt to bypass the process rather than embracing it. So now, let me give you the complete formula for effective autosuggestion. Step 1. Create a clear, specific statement of your desire. Vague wishes produce vague results. Your subconscious needs precision. Don't say, "I want more money." Say, "I am now earning $10,000 per month through my work as your specific role. I provide exceptional value and receive abundant compensation in return." Notice the specificity. Notice the present tense. Notice the exchange of value. This isn't a wish. It's a declaration of current reality, even if that reality exists only in your mind for now. Write this statement by hand. Be precise with your words. Make it something that resonates deeply with you. Step 2. Charge your statement with emotion and visualization. This is where most people fail. They repeat their affirmation mechanically, without feeling, without belief. But the subconscious responds to emotion more than words. So as you read your statement, close your eyes and feel the reality of it. See yourself performing at that income level. Feel the confidence in your body. Experience the emotions of already having achieved this goal. And remember Carnegie's secret. Don't just visualize the end result. Visualize the process. See yourself putting in the work. See yourself solving problems. See yourself overcoming obstacles. This makes your autosuggestion believable to your subconscious. It aligns with how reality actually works, and it prevents the internal resistance that sabotages most affirmations. Step 3. Repeat your statement at optimal times. Your subconscious is most receptive at 2 key moments. Just before sleep, when your conscious mind is relaxing. Just after waking, before your analytical mind is fully engaged. These are your windows of opportunity. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once in the morning and once before bed. Do this with full attention, with complete presence, with unwavering belief, not as a chore to be completed, but as the most important conversation of your day, because it is. Step 4. Align your casual self-talk. This is where consistency matters. You can't repeat your autosuggestion twice daily, then spend the rest of the day contradicting it with negative self-talk. Every time you think or say something like, "I can't afford that," or "That's too difficult for me," you're issuing a counter-command to your subconscious. These casual statements aren't casual at all. They're programming. So become vigilant about your everyday self-talk. Notice the subtle ways you limit yourself in conversation. Catch the habitual phrases that undermine your goals, and replace them with statements that align with your desired reality. Not artificially, not inauthentically, but with a genuine commitment to reprogramming your mental patterns. Step 5. Act as if your suggestion is already true. Autosuggestion isn't just mental, it's physical, it's behavioral. The way you sit, stand, speak, and move either reinforces or contradicts your verbal suggestions. So begin to embody the person you're becoming. How would someone earning your desired income carry themselves? How would they make decisions? How would they invest their time? Start acting in alignment with your autosuggestion, not from pretense, but from the understanding that action reinforces belief. Step 6. Persist through the doubt phase. This is where most people quit. They try autosuggestion for a few days or weeks. They don't see immediate results. They conclude, "This doesn't work." But the most powerful autosuggestions often face the strongest initial resistance. Your current beliefs were built over decades. They won't be replaced overnight. When doubt arises, and it will, recognize it as a natural part of the process. Not as evidence of failure, but as a sign that your old programming is being challenged. Then reaffirm your new suggestion with even greater conviction. The ones who break through are not those who avoid doubt, but those who persist despite it. Step 7. Express gratitude for what is coming. This final step is subtle but powerful. End your autosuggestion with genuine gratitude, not just for what you have now, but for what is already on its way to you. This creates a powerful emotional state that makes your subconscious more receptive. It also shifts you from wanting to receiving, from seeking to finding, from absence to presence. Gratitude implies completion. It suggests that the process is already unfolding perfectly, and the subconscious responds to this suggestion by making it so. This 7-step formula, when followed with consistency and genuine belief, has transformed countless lives. Not through magic or mysticism, but through the practical application of mental laws. Now I'll show you how to overcome the obstacles that prevent most people from mastering autosuggestion. Now let me warn you about the traps that will try to sabotage your practice of autosuggestion. Because knowing the method isn't enough. You must also be aware of what can derail your progress. The first trap is inconsistency. Most people practice autosuggestion sporadically, when they feel inspired, when they remember. But the subconscious requires repetition to be reprogrammed. Not occasionally, not when it's convenient, but consistently, reliably, without fail. Think of it like watering a plant. You wouldn't water it intensely for 3 days, then neglect it for a week, then remember it again. That plant would never thrive. The same is true of autosuggestion. It must become a daily discipline, as regular as brushing your teeth. Missing one day weakens the effect. Missing several days forces you to start again from the beginning. The second trap is emotional emptiness. Many people repeat their affirmations mechanically, like reciting a grocery list, like reading boring instructions. Remember, the subconscious doesn't respond to words, it responds to emotion. A single autosuggestion delivered with deep feeling is worth more than 100 repeated without emotion. When you state, "I am now earning $10,000 per month," you must feel the truth of that statement. The pride, the satisfaction, the certainty. Without emotion, autosuggestion is merely noise. With emotion, it becomes a creative force. The third trap is contradictory thinking. This is perhaps the most insidious of all. A person will state their autosuggestion with conviction, "I am now attracting abundance into my life." Then, an hour later, worry about bills, complain about their salary, make comments about how money is always tight. These contradictory thoughts cancel out the positive autosuggestion. They send mixed signals to the subconscious, and mixed signals produce mixed results, or no results at all. You must guard your thoughts with vigilance. Every complaint, every worry, every doubt, each is a counter-suggestion that undermines your goal. The fourth trap is impatience. Autosuggestion works at the speed of nature, not at the speed of desire. A seed planted today doesn't become a tree tomorrow. It grows at its own pace, according to its own timetable. The same is true of the thoughts you plant in your subconscious. Some may manifest quickly, others may take months or even years. But if the seed is planted correctly, if it's watered with emotion and protected from weeds of doubt, it will grow. Those who demand instant results miss the harvest that patience would have brought them. The fifth trap is waiting for the perfect moment. Many people say, "I'll start my autosuggestion practice when things calm down, when I have more time, when I feel more confident about it." But the perfect moment never arrives. There will always be distractions. There will always be reasons to delay. The most powerful time to begin autosuggestion is not tomorrow. It's not when conditions are ideal. It's right now, regardless of your circumstances. Because the very purpose of autosuggestion is to change those circumstances. The sixth trap is secrecy. This one surprises most people. Shouldn't you keep your autosuggestions private? Shouldn't you protect them from the doubts and criticisms of others? Often, yes. But there's also power in declaring your intentions to the right people, to those who will support you, to those who will hold you accountable. When you speak your goals aloud to someone who believes in you, you add another layer of commitment. You make your autosuggestion more real. You bring it from the realm of private thought into the realm of public declaration. This creates a powerful reinforcement that can accelerate your results. Choose these confidants carefully. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams, but don't underestimate the power of the right witnesses to your journey. The final trap is forgetting the action component. Autosuggestion is not a substitute for action. It's a catalyst for action. The purpose of programming your subconscious is not to manifest results while you sit passively. It's to transform how you perceive, decide, and act in the world. Effective autosuggestion should make you more energetic, more intuitive, more courageous, more persistent. It should drive you to take actions you wouldn't have taken otherwise. If your practice of autosuggestion isn't changing your behavior, it's not working yet. These traps have derailed countless people on their journey to mastering autosuggestion. But now that you're aware of them, you can avoid them. You can navigate around these obstacles. You can ensure that your practice produces real, tangible results. Because autosuggestion, when done correctly, is not just positive thinking. It's the reprogramming of your entire mental operating system. And that reprogramming will inevitably change your life. Let me say it again, because repetition is the first law of learning. Autosuggestion is the medium through which you communicate with your subconscious mind. It is the bridge between what you consciously desire and what you subconsciously create. It is how you plant the seeds of your future in the fertile soil of your mind. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are using this principle. Every thought you repeatedly think, every phrase you habitually say to yourself, every image you consistently hold in your mind, these are all suggestions to your subconscious. The only question is, are you using this power by design or by default? Are you consciously planting thoughts of capability, abundance, and success? Or are you unconsciously reinforcing limitation, scarcity, and doubt? The choice is always yours, and that choice shapes everything. Think of the most successful people you know or admire. They aren't successful because they were born different. They're successful because they think different. They've learned, either intuitively or deliberately, to suggest success to themselves so consistently that their subconscious has no choice but to create it. Edison's 5 words, "The solution already exists," reprogrammed his mind to find what others couldn't see. Ford's unshakable certainty about the V8 engine created the internal conditions for its invention. Carnegie's visualization of both the goal and the process aligned his entire being with achievement. These weren't supernatural people. They were ordinary men who mastered an extraordinary principle. And what they did, you can do. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful tool you possess. More powerful than any computer. More valuable than any external resource. Because it shapes how you perceive opportunities, how you respond to challenges, how you show up in the world. The person who learns to communicate effectively with their subconscious becomes unstoppable. Not because they avoid obstacles, but because they've programmed themselves to see obstacles differently, as stepping stones rather than barriers. Not because they don't experience fear, but because they've trained their minds to move forward despite fear. Not because they're immune to doubt, but because they've created internal programming that's stronger than doubt. This is the true power of autosuggestion. It doesn't change the external world directly. It changes how you interface with that world, and that changes everything. So I ask you now, what suggestions are you currently feeding to your subconscious? What seeds are you planting in the garden of your mind? What future are you programming yourself to create? If you don't like the current answers to these questions, you now have the power to change them. You can begin today to speak differently to yourself, to visualize differently, to feel differently, not as an exercise in denial, not as magical thinking, but as the deliberate application of mental law. This is how ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. This is how impossible dreams become inevitable realities. This is how you become the architect of your destiny rather than the victim of circumstance. The method is simple, though not easy. Write your autosuggestion with specificity and intention. Speak it aloud twice daily, with deep emotion. Visualize both the outcome and the process. Guard your casual self-talk against contradiction. Act in alignment with your new programming. Persist through the doubt phase. Express gratitude for what is coming. Do this consistently, and your life will change. Not by magic, not by miracle, but by method. By the practical application of how your mind actually works. As we come to the close of this teaching, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your mind is the starting point of all achievement. Not your circumstances, not your background, not your connections, your mind. And autosuggestion is how you direct that mind toward the life you truly desire. I've shared with you the exact formula that has created more success than any university education. I've revealed Carnegie's counterintuitive secret about visualizing the process, not just the outcome. I've warned you about the traps that derail most people's practice. Now the choice is yours. Will you continue allowing random thoughts and habitual doubts to program your subconscious? Or will you take control of this process? Will you deliberately plant the seeds of your future? Will you speak to yourself with the power that creates real change? I believe you will. I believe you must. Because once you understand this principle, you can never go back to unconscious living. You can never again pretend that your self-talk doesn't matter. You can never return to blaming external circumstances for your results. The knowledge itself creates responsibility, and that responsibility creates opportunity. So begin today. Write your statement of desire. Make it specific. Make it present tense. Include what you'll give in return. Read it aloud in the morning upon waking. Read it aloud at night before sleeping. See yourself not just achieving your goal, but in the process of achievement. Feel the emotions of success as if they were already yours. Guard your thoughts against doubt and contradiction, and take action, inspired, confident action, toward your dream. Do this consistently. Do this emotionally. Do this with unwavering faith. And what seems impossible today will become your reality tomorrow. Not by magic, but by method. Not by chance, but by choice. Not by wishing, but by commanding. Your subconscious is listening. It is always listening, and it always obeys. The only question is, what instructions are you giving it? Make them worthy of the life you were meant to live. Make them clear. Make them consistent. Make them emotionally charged. And then watch as the invisible becomes visible, as thought becomes thing, as desire becomes destiny. This is the promise of autosuggestion. This is the power that is yours to claim. Now go, write your statement, begin your practice, transform your life. The world is waiting for what only you can create, and it all begins with how you talk to yourself.